welcome back. I had to cut this class into 2 parts because my phone can only record for so long. But for now, it's back to the karate lesson. Now that we've gone over Peon 1 and Peon 2, it's time to go over Peon 3. This is a more advanced intermediate kata, and this kata helps transition all of our practitioners into the more advanced katas. Okay, so I'm going to go over this kata once at a moderate speed, then I'm going to break it down for you guys. Here we go. Peon 3! Ah! Short and sweet. Now, follow along with me and we're going to break this kata down. Sorry, I had something in my throat. Start at Junbi, like always. You're going to look to your left, step into a back stance, execute a left arm outside block. For those of you who notice, if you remember Basic 3, this kata is very similar to Basic 3. This is the more advanced version of the 3rd Basic kata. From here, from this back stance, we're going to bring our feet together, bend our knees slightly. Bring our arms together like so. One hand still in the blocking position. The other hand is bringing itself together. This is similar to the hugging yourself motion that I've described in another video. From here, we're going to execute a double block. You transition, basically we're a double block. You're taking your arms and you're switching their position twice. If you need a practication to give you guys a more visual aid for what this symbolizes, imagine that you're actually blocking 2 attacks at once. One low attack, one middle or high attack. So we're going to execute that motion twice. Step out to a back stance on the other side, block, bring our feet and arms together, double block again. We're going to stay in that back stance as we step out, execute a reinforced block, parry, step forward, spear hand strike. Now for the next part, we're going to turn our body. We're twisting our feet as we turn our body to the side and executing a spear hand below the belt. That's the best way I can describe this. We're going to cross step, turn, and execute a backhand or a back fist in a sideways horse stance. Then you're going to turn, step forward into a front stance, and execute a middle punch with the right hand. We'll give it a loud kick. Cha! Now you're going to turn back to facing the way you came. And from that position, hands on your hips, you're going to execute 3 crescent kicks. 1 crescent kick, and as you finish the crescent kick, you're stepping back into a sideways horse stance, and you're just going to take the arm that's facing outward and snap the back fist. Just like that. Again, crescent kick, and as you're bringing that foot down, make sure you twist your hips, because this elbow, and application-wise, this is knocking away another attack as you then bring your arm back for the back fist. A 3rd kick, back the attack away, back fist. Bring your arms together like so. We're still facing that way, but I'm turning to you guys so you can see what I'm doing. You're hugging yourself. You're going to bring your left hand to chamber. Keep your right hand and flat and bring it out. This is called a fan hand, a fan block. Because this is the way you have your hand when you're fanning yourself when it's hot. You bring your hand out like so. Nice, slow, and controlled. Really tense up those muscles and breathe out nice and slow and controlled. you're going to step forward with the left leg and punch. You're still in a front stance. You stepped into a front stance after that punch. Then you're going to take your right foot, step up into a horse stance, cross step, turn completely around. Next, you're going to bring this hand back to chamber. By in practicality, this is elbowing somebody who's behind you as you execute a hook punch to the person's face that's right by your shoulder. You're going to step over to the side, to the right, elbow, and punch. And that's Peon 3. Now, it's on to Peon 4, one of my favorite katas. I like to think of this kata as an introductory kata to the more advanced katas in our system. Now, this kata is advanced, but it's the first advanced kata. And it's one of my favorites because it is full of martial applications. And plus, this is a kata that really gets you moving with your kicks. It also has a bunch of stances and it is loaded with practical applications that I will go over when we break the kata down. Now, enough talking, let's get walking. Peon 4. Peon 4. Alright, so let's break this sucker down. First, your Enjubi. Just like in the last kata, we're stepping out into a back stance. Your hands are down here. Form almost a triangle with your fingers, like so. And bring the hands up to here. This is just like that double forearm block that I talked about in Peon 2. Only instead of having your hands balled up, they're open. And instead of stepping, you're just going to shift your weight to the other side. Execute the same thing. Bring your hands down here at the chamber in that teacup fashion that I talked about earlier. Step forward. And you're going to execute what's called a low X block. It's called that because your hands are crossed and forming the letter X. This is really good for blocking a strong kick. You're going to step up to another front stance. Switch your hands around like so. And execute a reinforced block. Bring your feet together. Cup in here at chamber. A side kick and backhand, back fist, whatever you want to call it. Open your palm and strike your palm with your elbow. Bring the feet together on the other side. Execute the same thing on the other side. Now this position, a lot of you may be wondering what this is. So let me see if I can explain this the best way I can. You're right here, you start here in a front stance. You're facing this way, but then you turn your upper body slightly facing this way. The left hand comes down, and the right hand comes up. Best way to describe this is that this low hand is blocking or parrying a kick to the groin, while your right hand is up high blocking a head strike. You're going to shift your body weight. Your left hand comes up to block. Your right hand executes a chop to either the temple or the neck. I would recommend the neck. From here, you're going to execute a right snap kick, cross step, bend your knees. This is called a crane stance. And then execute another reinforced block, give a kiai. Ah! From here, you're going to twist out 45 degrees this way. From that position, your hands are going to come out and force open, and this is basically you're breaking someone's grip on you. Then snap kick 2 punches from this side. Then you're going to turn this way to the right. You're going to do the same thing. Kick with the other leg. Left punch, right punch. From there, you're going to go into a back stance. Reinforced block. 3 times. And then, from that back stance, switch to a front stance. Your hands are going to, let me back up so you guys can see. Your hands are going to shoot up, grab the opponent's head. You don't want to be dirty about it. Stab your thumbs into the opponent's eye. You don't have to do that, but that's dirty fighting. I'll cover that in another video. And then you're going to bring the opponent's head down as you slam them with your knee. Ah! Then you turn, execute a knife hand block, back stance. Step up, still on that back stance. Execute a knife hand. And that is Peon 4. Hope you guys enjoyed this lesson. I'll be back later this week with another video and we will go over Peon 5. Until then guys, catch you around.